welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have a flashback review video here, and this is a pen that I actually purchased in June, July of 2017. So this is about 8 years old. This is an interesting pen. It was a pen that I purchased on eBay. And this is called the Visconti Rotary. This was made for the Rotary Club, and you can see that here. It has this lovely sort of ship's wheel there, emblem, which you can actually unscrew. And you can actually see there that it is just a pin that is in there. But you also get this sort of magnifying lens, and I'm going to try and put that back in again and screw that back on. But this is an interesting pen that I bought. I bought it on a whim, purely because it was a really good price, and I saw the eBay seller saying that the photos were not of the actual pen, and there were some photos of this sort of pen or similar pen, and it had a little bit of corrosion or verdigris going on the gold plating. I was hoping I was going to get a much better version. I kind of didn't, and it was a little bit more worse for wear. But I have cleaned this up. It has removed a little bit of that plating, though, that you can see there. But why did I buy this pen? So I bought it because I knew at the time a 18 karat gold number 6 size Visconti nib was about £200, £220 just for the nib. And this I got for, I want to say, I think it was about 140, maybe 150. So I knew, worst case scenario, if this pen was a dud, I could unscrew the nib and I could use it as a donor nib in another pen. But it comes in this beautiful celluloid, this sort of lapis lazuli celluloid. And you can see there, it does say 1905 to 2005. So this has definitely seen better days. Now, I always originally thought that the corrosion or verdigris was more because it had been stored in a seaside town or resort and open to sort of seaside salty air was what would cause the corrosion. But I now know that it is the celluloid off-gassing that can create that. So this celluloid has off-gassed a little bit. You can see a little bit more down here on this band here. It's a lot more dull looking. But you can see the Visconti cap, my pen finial, not my pen finial, but it's very similar to the my pen finial there on the end cap. It's a stunning celluloid material, but like I said, it comes with this very beautiful 18 karat gold fine nib there, and this really is a beautiful pen. So I'm glad that I did buy this pen in the end. If I unscrew the body there, you will see it's got the original Gen 1 PowerVac filling system. So, bearing in mind this was made in 2005, that certainly was around the original Gen 1 filling system there. But the nib itself writes absolutely beautiful, and I'm really glad that I bought this pen. Yes, it may not be the perfect pen to look at. Can I post the cap? Yes, I can, and it will post securely, but it does have a little bit of wear and tear, or more so sort of verdigris, corrosion on the pen, purely because the celluloid has off-gassed. And this is something we have to be careful as pen collectors a lot more now, that celluloid pens will off-gas, and if they're not left or not stored in a well-ventilated heat sensitive location, then you will find that celluloid will off gas and will turn some of the plating, and that's exactly what happened with this pen. But I'm kind of glad that it did off gas. I do keep it a little bit away from other celluloid pens now. I do keep it in a different drawer. It came to me in a much more worse condition than you see here. So why do I like this pen so much? Well, I do like the lapis lazuli celluloid, and it is celluloid. It's not a resin. It's not a cellulose acetate either. And I absolutely love Visconti nibs, and this is a really beautiful nib. So that's why I added it to my collection. And I guess for me, why haven't I let this one go in my collection? Purely is because someone is going to complain that this doesn't look pristine. And that doesn't bother me. I'm happy to keep it in my collection. You don't see a lot of these pens around, and I'm glad that I did add that to my collection. So I think with that, let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Cypress Maquillé Goldfish, a Cypress Eggshell 01, a Mike Green, and this is the purple Juma Dragon. We have a Mike Green, and this is the blue Snake or blue Juma Dragon. We have a Visconti Rotary. We have a Visconti, and this is the Monza. We have the Visconti True Black. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Chianti. We have a Visconti Opera Master, and that's the Blue Swirls Proto. And we have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Elegance. So I think with that, let's now do a writing sample. So this is the Visconti Rotary, and it does say 1905 to 2005. This is a fine, and it is an 18 cat gold nib. The ink in here today is the trusty Visconti turquoise, and I just love how this nib writes. It writes really well. In terms of Western line, we're looking certainly at a Western fine. I can push it even harder. Definitely get a Western medium out of this. But you can see there that this is a really nice writing nib. With more vertical lines, there's no hard starts or skips there. In terms of ink wetness, let's take a look. I know this is going to be a wet nib because I've written with it a lot. And you can see there that that certainly is a very, very wet fire hose nib. And honestly, this is why I bought this pen. Because I had already had a lot of Viscontis by the time I bought this pen. More recently, I've had a lot more. But I knew that the Visconti nibs were definitely going to be super fire hose wet writing nibs. And that was why I bought this pen. It doesn't bother me about the damage to the pen. Yes, ultimately we'd all like our pens to be in pristine condition. But sometimes, especially if you look at vintage pens, you're not going to find that's the case, and you are going to see corrosion, you are going to see wear and tear. So I kind of look at this to be a little bit more like a vintage pen. Is it vintage? No, it's 20 years old, but I consider it sort of in vintage condition. So there you have it. That's my flashback review of the Visconti Rotary 1905 to 2005 in a fine 18 karat gold nib. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.